to the Exchange Place podcast, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. We are continuing our Voices of a Man series, and I have the pleasure of having my brother from another mother in the building today. We got Tone in the building.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Dad?
Hey, what's
up,
going
Pastor?
on? Y'all heard. Look, and I tell everybody, he calls me pastor, right? That's a longer story, but we'll talk about that. I'm not a pastor, y'all. Just so y'all know, I am not a pastor. Not to my knowledge. Let me be clear, Lord. Not to my knowledge.
You had your moments.
Yeah, you know, I'm always ministering in one form or fashion. I'm continuing my Grief to Gratitude series, and it's been really, really dope. Like, it's been dope to sit down with men that are in my life and near or far. And I'm honored to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be. I mean,
Listen, both ways.
This is special for me.
Yeah. I think for me, you know, I keep saying this, I wasn't going to do it this year. This is always me honoring my dad and the voices of men with my transition and just kind of overall, just like, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it this year. And my coach was like, you know, sometimes you got to replace grief with gratitude. And I love that because, again, I started to think about how many people I have around me. Sometimes when we're focused on what we don't have, we don't necessarily honor the people that we do have. So you are an amazing husband to my sister. What up, Swea?
You heard that? You heard that,
Yeah, that's right, Swea. He's an amazing husband. You're an amazing father. We always have these exchanges, most of the time in backyards or at Tamara's house or wherever we find ourselves. But
also
I thought
drinking water.
Also drinking water. Well, now I'm really drinking water because I haven't been drinking this year, y'all. But
man,
I know.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty too.
Yeah, but I thought it would be nice to bring you on and just honor who you are and find out a little bit more about Tone. I think we always we interact and we talk about different things, but I was like, I want to know a little bit more about you. I already found out that your name not Tone. Always in my head, y'all don't laugh, but I always was like, you look like you could be like an Antonio or something or whatever.
I think I might be a lot smoother if my name was Antonio.
Antonio. It kind of, you got a little Rico Suave look going on. I think it could go over.
Little ponytail?
Your little ponytail or something. But no, I thought we talk about men. I know you do a lot for men in the community. I know you are just kind of showing up in all spaces when it comes to community, and I know you have a heart for men. So I thought I'd bring you on, and
Thank you.
we can chit chat a little bit.
Definitely.
Let's talk.
Well, one of the things about Tone or Walter, is my name, is I am a father of two young boys, Seth and Sage, 14 and 10. I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good husband. According to Deb, I'm amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
One of the things I've been doing in the community is mentorship. So we go. I take young men or men who are in businesses, and I bring them up to one of my inner city places. So YCS is a group home or program where there might be some kids who ran into some trouble, and might have been given the option to do juvenile detention, spend time in jail, or this program. So what I found was that a lot of them were turning 18 and signing themselves out. They would age out, and they would go out into the world, and they would be unprepared for the world. So what I was trying to do, and they would wind up in the papers or in jail or something.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do was bring people, entrepreneurs, barbers, truck drivers, painters, construction workers, welders, up to the program to kind of show the kids another way. Give them some kind of skill set so that when they do leave, they'll at the very least be able to pick up a paintbrush or help someone fix a home or fix a couch, build something. and just kind of give them more options.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. What do you think made you want to do that for other young men?
Well, it's something I've been doing this for about almost 20 years now. So I got asked to work at an after school program in Newark. Um, Me being someone who was in the system at one point, I didn't think that I would be eligible. I didn't think that I could work with kids. But it turned out, he said, just give it a try. And I did, and I was okay to work with that group of kids. Now, at the time, 13th Avenue School was the most turned up, elementary school in Newark. And
Yeah.
we had this after school program, and we really engaged with the kids. We had kids that were from second grade to seventh grade, and that's the hours between 3 o'clock and 6, 7. Those are the times that a lot of our kids get in trouble. So I took to it, and I fell in love with it. My first day was mayhem. Like, I had 20 kids, 20 second graders, and it was just like I was ready to pull my hair out. But I stuck with it, and maybe after, I would say, about a week, you couldn't pull me away from the kids.
Yeah.
So from there, I got involved in the city of Orange with Councilwoman Donna Williams, who was also one of my mentors, and we got together and we started taking kids to D.C. For the Congressional Black Caucus, and we started out taking scholars, kids who were doing very well in school, and I started to kind of trickle in my other group. And I found that it was like, by the time you fill up a 30-passenger bus with a bunch of kids for a few hours, by the time we got down to D.C., you couldn't tell who from who. It was just a great vibe, and as long as we set the atmosphere and the environment correctly.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for 10 years now.
Love it.
So, that was just, and I just gravitated towards doing this. When I started the 16-week program with, bringing gentlemen up there to talk with the kids, I actually, I started doing the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a great connection with them anymore. And the only connection I would have would be negative. I get there and the police would already be there, or there'd be something happening, and I started not to like the kids. So I had to check myself, and just kind of say, look, you're here, you're collecting a check. It's nothing. The kids haven't changed. It was me. So I kind of just I regrouped and said to myself, what could I do, to better what's going on here? So I sat down with the head clinician, spoke with the program director. And I've done programs there before. I did a sex ed program with them, but they allowed me to work with the kids, and it got rough. The kids we have. They're from the streets.
Yeah.
And they're very knowledgeable. So they'll check you. They if you're not genuine, if you don't come there really offering something, they pick it up quick.
They're looking for people that really care and have a heart for them.
Yep. Even when you're chastising them, when you're giving them that tough love, they recognize it.
Yeah.
They know what it is. So,
yeah.
That's why I gravitate towards that population a little better, because the honesty just it's got to be out there. It's got to be blunt.
Yeah.
You don't have to dance around a lot of things or be political.
Yeah. So I have a question. Can we circle back to, I know you mentioned you were in the system.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about you in the system and kind of how you got in the system, but also how you got out?
Yeah. So back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Wow. Over 23 years ago, I was down south. I was in North Carolina, and I was down there following behind my friends, my homies from up here. And we all pretty much caught a case.
Yeah.
And with that case, I know we don't have a lot of time, but it was a federal case.
Okay.
At the time, I was facing 20 plus years in jail. I got charged with 7,600 grams of crack cocaine. I got charged with 5 guns. So my life was on the line. I was facing more time than I had been alive, and we fought tooth and nail. I wound up with a plea deal, and I wound up doing a year. So I did a year and some change, and it was more of an adventure than anything else because I wound up getting moved around so much in that time frame. But it was a hard hit because it wasn't something that, I was looked at as like the good kid or like the kid that wasn't gonna mess up.
Mm-hmm.
My family was known for being out there, for being in the streets, and I was more so like the homebody. So when that happened, it was crushing. It took me about 2 weeks, maybe longer, to call my mother and let her know that that's where I was.
Wow.
So that's where a lot of my story began, and I hadn't talked about it in depth until about a year ago. I was sitting down with. I got a call from a brother, Jediah, who has a podcast, and he talks with two people who have done time and come home and change their life.
Yeah.
And he asked me, and I immediately was like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And then when I hung up the phone, I was like, man, I never did that before.
Yeah.
So to sit down and really just kind of like spill my life like that was therapeutic. It was freeing because, as you know, with testimony, if you're swallowing it, if you're just holding it, it becomes that albatross on your neck.
Absolutely.
You can't. There are people who need to have those gifts.
Yeah.
They need to have that story so that they could walk. And I wasn't able to do that. I was choking it down because it was something that was hindering me from getting the jobs I wanted. It was something that was hindering me from just having the self-confidence to be able to go and do a lot of the things I knew I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
So, once I was able to do that, I hadn't listened to the podcast. It took me about 3 months for me to even listen back to what I was saying, because while I was saying it, I was hearing my words, and it was like it was an emotional experience. So, it took me a while to hear it, but it was, like I said, that was kind of like my mark to just be like, look, this is what happened to me. I'm just as impacted. The people need to hear these. People need to hear
those
these
stories. Yeah. First of all, I'm proud of you.
Thank you
for telling your story. I think that is a testament to people really sharing what they've gone through, whether that is incarceration, whether that is grief or trauma. I think a lot of times what you said is so true, that people, whether we're ashamed or we just want to forget about that thing happening and kind of like move forward, never, and I know that I've been here in a different realm, but like never really realizing that other people need it. There was someone told me a while ago that I had a decision to make what I would do with my grief and my trauma. Mm-hmm. She said it would be something that I used as a crutch to lean on and blame when things got rough, or, kind of my out of things, or I could choose to make it a gift and make it a gift to other people in the way. And I know that sounds weird to say that, right? Making trauma or grief or even incarceration a gift. But it is something that it's like I serve people healing, because I am literally living proof that you can get past that. And even though I still have moments and I still have places that are still hard places, I don't look like what I've been through. Mm-hmm. And like there are other people going through who need to know, like, you ain't always gonna be there, right? Yeah. And it's a possibility. I think it's great that not only are you telling your story now, right, on these types of platforms for other people to be like, hey, because there's somebody right now like choking that down, want to cover that up and just start their life anew, not even thinking about there's somebody younger than you or even just a peer that may be in the same situation trying to figure out, like, how can I, get past this, or how can I, how did he navigate that? How did he get to where he is? Because I would have had no idea. Like, I remember us having a conversation. I'm like, really? You were like that? Like, what? Tell me what. I was like, really? because I would have never thought, you know, as I know you, you're a husband, father, like work all the time, doing all this stuff in the community. I would have never known. So I think it's a blessing when we really start looking at, you know, sharing our testimonies, sharing our stories, being okay with that. And it you know, it takes a while. Like you said, it's therapeutic. It is definitely therapeutic. And therapy, y'all, is not easy. I just want to be clear.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's rough, but it's definitely what you need.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be able to, like I said, say the words.
Yeah.
Say what's bothering you.
Yeah.
You know, and it is truly like what you've been through, the things that you're able to share. It is a gift. That's why it's sharing.
Yeah,
you know?
that is why it is sharing.
Yeah,
it is.
You're able to give someone something, and they're almost experiencing it through you.
Yeah.
And hopefully, maybe so that they don't have to experience it.
I was about to say, or they know how to navigate it well. I actually had yesterday. I just released a book in honor of my dad called "The Heart of Healing." And I've been getting, listen, it's so emotional. I'm reading it. So I get what you're saying when you say listening. I'm on my last thing of editing. It'll be released. It's pre-ordered if y'all want to pre-order it. So y'all go ahead over and pre-order it. But it's getting released in mid-July. And I finally got my last edit of it. So, you know, it's been changes. And I tried to start reading it yesterday, and it's a lot. Like, I barely got through just my dedication before I was like, this is just a lot, because it feels like I literally took my heart and put it on pages. But I got a DM yesterday after reading that and putting it up from somebody who's in a place that I know, like I'm familiar with. I could just hear it in the, you know what I mean, the DM. And I think that is it just solidified, like, nah, this is what you're supposed to be doing at this particular time. People are really struggling and suffering in silence, and like, this is going to be a tool that other people can use, and God willing, it will help the world, right? To like process that, because grief, trauma, it is universal. You know what I mean? It is not like, oh, well, you're only this person who everybody experiences it. It looks different for everybody, but everybody experiences it. And it's just more like, okay, this is the time for you to do this. I know it feels, even though I'm already, you know what I mean? I'm already about to literally release it. It still has that thing of like, this is literally my life.
You're
and
giving people a piece of you.
Literally, like, but that is what I feel like, and this is just great leeway into this, because this is in honor of my dad. I just feel like when my dad left here, he left here full of a lot of things, and like everything I do, the podcast, the books, everything that I do, I'm always thinking that there will be people that I will be helping when I'm no longer physically here.
Yeah.
Like,
and how amazing is that?
That part for me, like, literally gives me chills even when I say that. Like, there will be people literally being like, thank God that somebody wrote this, and they will never have the opportunity to meet me.
Yeah. But like, that's what life is. Life is about affecting other people. In a positive, you want to leave here. You want to leave the world better than how you got here. Yeah. And you want to be able to affect people's lives in a positive way. Yeah. And when you're dust and your bones, you know, for that to be able to still radiate through distance and time is very important. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And, I don't know who said it, but they say you die twice. You know, you die physically, and when the last time someone says your name.
Wow. You know, so that is crazy that you just said that. That is literally the quote in my dedication about my dad. Literally the quote that I use, because I promised my dad on his deathbed that he would continue to live through me. Like, I was just like, this is not it for you, because I feel like he didn't get to do it. But I'm gonna make sure.
You got to.
I'm gonna make sure.
That's how we keep our folk alive. You know, that's how we keep them. You know, I've lost family members that were very important to me, and had a lot to do with my growth and my humor, and so I instill that in my kids will never meet them. Yeah. You know, but I try to put that in my kids and let them know, you know, like this is, you know, this your uncle gave me this.
Yeah.
You know, like I got this from your aunt, or I got this from, you know, so that's how we keep our people alive, you know, and that's how you work through grief as well.
Yeah,
you know?
no, this series alone has been probably one of the best. It'll be 7 years in August that my dad hasn't been here. And that's why the series keep on going, y'all. I was only going to do it to June. It's probably going to be till July because it has been making me grieve in a different way. Like I probably had maybe 2 sad days, and even when I'm crying, it's more of the remembrance of like, I told you so. That's all I keep on thinking. Like, I told you so. You know what I mean? I told you that I will do this, and I promise that this will just grow. Like next year, y'all watch out, because I promise you, I want to do a live one with a male panel, and I'm just getting more things of just like in ways to honor him and not to go where I used to go in June. You know, it's his birthday, Father's Day, and all of that, and not to get that kind of depression that I would go into, or just to hit that low, but to really be able to honor him. In, you know, God has blessed me with amazing brothers, amazing people, and men in my life, and I want to honor them in that. Like, I miss my dad, but I got all him in me. We were one and the same.
And look how he's working.
Yeah.
You know, look how he's working through you. Look what he's been able to do and bring your way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why in the grievance, going through all of that tough stuff, you've had to kind of change your lens.
Yeah.
You know, and notice the DMs that are you know, propping you up and praising you and, you know, putting you in place. So it's a beautiful thing. When I've been with my lady for 23 years as well.
Yeah. And don't be looking at him, because we will choke y'all out. Just saying. Nah, but I'm serious.
Sweet over there with her
Sweet
fist
like,
right now,
yes.
fist pumping.
Sweet is my sister, y'all. I will look. Don't make me.
Yeah, but we, you know, my brother and my best friend, who are also part of my case, they were murdered in 2007 and in October. So October was my time, you know. Around that time would come around October 8th, and it just would be, I'd be in this lull, you know. And somehow we swear got it in her head that we was gonna get married and on a boat. So somehow we convinced 80 people to hop on a cruise ship with us, and we got married in the Bermuda Triangle on the way to Bermuda. And we got married on October 8th, you know, and it was one of the most special times of my life. Because, I mean, when it comes to Sue and I, we was going to be together regardless. But for us to be able to get some of our closest family and friends together and share a moment with them, we basically let them know this was about us, you know, all of us. You know, it was like we trapped y'all on this boat, you know, so that we could have this moment with y'all and celebrate not what's to come, but what we've had, what we've gotten, and what we've gained, and the people that were with us. So, you know, it's when you can turn grief into gratitude the way that you are, you know, it really, I mean, it makes a big difference. And your father's still working. Your father is still working.
I know that.
You know?
I literally know that. Like probably more this year than I have ever known. Like because in my head I had lost, the year before I lost my dad, I lost my spiritual dad. So my pastor passed away in 2015, and then I lost my dad in 2016. It just was a lot. So I think always in my head, I'm like, my grandfather is no longer here. I lost him when I was younger. So in my head, I was always just like, man, I don't have like men like that in my life anymore.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a friend of mine who is a guy, but he's always traveling. He is my bestie. If you see this, he is, you know, one of my besties. But I was like, dang, I was telling him, like, I really don't feel like I have men like that in my life anymore. And this series has been like, no, you looking at this all wrong. Like, near, far, you have amazing men around you.
We here.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah. And I would challenge some of the women, because I know people feel like that. You know what I mean? Like, But I would challenge them to really take a look around. Like, I have an overflow of men around me who are doing positive things, who who have wisdom, who I can talk to, who I can go to and depend on. And I feel like I was looking at, because I was so focused on like my dad not being here, it was almost minimizing those other relationships.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I'm so grateful that you're here, because I'm like, I really have like solid people, not just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even just like, oh, it's just men around. No, I like have really solid men doing amazing things. Like, I don't know. I'm just honored, and I'm literally grateful. I know that's ironic, right? But I'm literally grateful, and I've just been thanking God for y'all. Like, I'm like, no, you have examples of good husbands and good fathers and good men and people you could call if you need something. Like, you have that, whether or not you're taking full advantage of like having them because you don't feel like you have them. I think that sometimes gets kind of skewed, and I know I'm guilty of that. Like,
yeah, I think we all are. Like, you kind of highlight what's negative, what's going on, and you make it about you. And when that's why I talk about the lens. Once you change the lens a little bit, you start saying, okay, like, what am I like? Yeah. What am I complaining about?
I know.
You know, why am I so worried? Like, why don't I reach out to this person?
I think so. If I'm honest, I think for me, I think I wasn't looking through the other lens, because something in me made it almost felt like, well, I don't want to forget who my dad was. Mm-hmm. So like the focus was so like honed in on him, and it's like, now I'm like, I have a new lens. It's like, it doesn't make me forget about him. It doesn't like lessen our relationship at all. Mm-hmm. If anything, it adds to it. And I think that for me, I had to change, because it's almost like, I think sometimes when you're grieving, you want to hold on so much because you don't physically have them. Yeah. You want to hold on so you have him in places and positions that he can't physically any longer fulfill, right? Yeah. So you don't want to almost replace those places. Mm-hmm. I'm having an epiphany right now, but like, you know, you know what I mean? You don't want to replace those places because you feel like somehow it will not minimize him, but just kind of like you'll forget like what he used to do, when it's like, no, but you need help, girl. You can't be lifted, whatever. Uh-huh. You know, you don't do car stuff. Stop playing. Like, stop playing. Uh-huh. But I think we don't sometimes utilize those resources and what God is giving us. He doesn't replace people, but he does make sure that you have those people. And I have an abundance of those. And all of these interviews are that. There are the abundance that God has given me in losing my dad. So in those 7 years, whether it's older relationships or newer relationships, it's abundance. And I'm just like, dang, I had to apologize. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't realize how much and how many amazing men I have around me. But I think that's what happens. Yeah.
But you already know what the narrative is often, that we're not there, we're not around, we're not involved. And, so it's refreshing to get your point of view, and so that like you're seeing what's really here. Yeah. We're here, we're in it together, and it's never gonna work if we're not working together. Yeah. And we're not propping each other up and promoting that love that we have that's in the community.
Yeah. But, I think we just need to do more. And that's part of why I'm doing the series, and we'll continue to do the series, and I'm going to do the female side of this. I think it's such a big gap on both ends. I just feel like we are sometimes talking at one another, not to one another, and not to get like actual understanding so people can understand, hey, where you're coming from, but more so of, people are just banging heads and nobody's listening to one another.
People want to be right, and people will rather be right, or they want to have a good sound bite, and that trumps coming to a solution.
Yeah. We never get to one.
That's
the thing.
Get to one. And
that's the thing.
When you're in a relationship, any kind of relationship, you got to get to a point where, there's some give and some take. And if everything is about what's wrong with you, then you're never going to get to a place where, all right, we can coexist this way.
Yeah.
You know, we can work this out. You know,
Yeah.
get to a peaceful. And it's never going to be easy. But that's why people will rather go to the, you know, just being right or being.
Yeah.
And then when you
or being heard, just loud and wrong.
Yep.
Loud and wrong. But we're going to change that. I first of all, I thank you for coming through.
My pleasure.
It's been an honor. This is one of many, and I'll tell Sweet you did not, because I know she like, don't you embarrass me. He did not embarrass you at all. But I'm honored to have you here. I think this is one of many, and we'll be working together in a lot of different ways moving forward.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I can't wait. I'm gonna keep bothering you.
I know. Look, you don't have to bother me. I'm already on it.
Yeah.
100%. But thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
And y'all, thanks for tuning in. We'll holler at y'all later.
Welcome to the Exchange Place, the home for healing.